dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. This show is live. So as I was telling our guest, if anything can happen during the show. Right now, I've got Loki sitting on my lap, and you notice I'm not wearing earplugs because the last time I did, he pulled one of them out of my ear and then swallowed it right during the show. So if you're only listening and you want to watch, you can go to my website, The Queen of Dreams, or www.KathleenO'KeefeCanvas.com. And up in the right-hand corner, you'll see a little button that you can push to watch the show live right now. You can actually call in and talk with me and our guest tonight. During the video stream, just call 646-558-8656, and you can come on the show and ask us your question. You may have seen me last hour on Bloomer Boomer TV, Your Dreams with the Queen of Dreams, Kat Kanavos, at bloomerboomer.com. If not, you can go to my Facebook page, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, author, speaker, and watch it at your convenience. If you missed last week's show, it's on dreamvision7.com, or you can just Google it at Dreaming Healing with Kat Kanavos. So Dr. Kimberly Mascaro says, may your dreams be your medicine. So is there a connection between your dreams and relationships, and how about what's going on with COVID right now? Well, we're going to find out, but first, that's right, let's start the show off with our favorite protection and clearing meditation. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes, just listen, it will still work. During this meditation, I want you to imagine holding something that's small but really powerful to you. Maybe it was something that was given to you in a dream by your guardian angel, your spirit guides, or perhaps even a deceased loved one. It can be an amulet or a favorite flower, a piece of jewelry, anything that holds the power of love for you. This is going to be your power gift. And together, we're going to take in 3 really, really deep breaths of air, deep breaths of the breath of life, and we're going to hold it. And any negativity is going to connect to that breath of life. And we are going to blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to convert to this beautiful golden energy and return to the universe. That way, we're not littering, okay? So then we're going to build a protection bubble, a mirrored protection bubble around us using our power gift. Okay, ready? Close your eyes and feel yourself just relaxing, becoming centered wherever you're sitting. Taking a deep breath. Hold it. Now blow it out across the room into that purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, deep breath in. Imagine any tiny specks of negativity sucked into that breath. Now blow it out into the flame. One more time. Really deep breath. Hold it in. Imagine anything that you said that was negative, something someone said to you that was negative, anything that is not of your highest and best. Connect it into that breath. Blow it across the room. Empty your lungs completely into that purple flame of Saint Germain. Now imagine holding your power gift in your hand and start swinging it around your head and your body. And you're building this beautiful mirrored bubble of protection around you that only allows that which is of the highest and best to come into your bubble, brought by your spirit guides and guardian angels, and anything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Life has been very difficult these past COVID months. How can our extraordinary dreams help us in our health and relationships? Well, here to help us answer those questions today is Dr. Kimberly Mascaro, and she is the author of Extraordinary Dreams, Visions, Announcements, and Premonitions Across Time and Place. She's a psychologist and licensed psychotherapist, certified guided meditation yoga facilitator, certified hypnotherapist, and the ethics committee co-chair for the International Association for the Study of Dreams. Yes, Dr. Kimberly Mascaro wears many hats in addition to her role as a spiritually oriented psychologist. Her primary focus is on women's issues, particularly navigating life's big transitions like now, and dreams. Dr. Mascaro's most recent publication is Extraordinary Dreams, published by McFarland in 2018, and her research on dreams has been presented and published in the USA and Europe. So Kimberly and I met at the IASD, which is the International Association for the Study of Dreams, where we were both presenting on dreams. Welcome to the show, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me, Kat. And that was a really lovely guided intro. I enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was so excited all week having you on the show, because when we were at the IASD, we had such a great time talking dreams, dreams, dreams. And so just having you on the show tonight is just, I'm just, oh, so excited. So tell us, what do you do as the Ethics Committee co-chair of the International Association for the Study of Dreams?
Well, that position is new for me. And so the other co-chair, George, and I are looking at the proposals that are coming in, especially dream workshops and things where, you know, people are vulnerable and in these workshops, and they can be highly sensitive because we're sharing our dreams. In a way, we're sharing our soul. So we want to look at these presentations and be sure that they're just, you know, keep to ethical standards and will be safe for everyone to enjoy and participate in. So that's one of the things we do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main things we do, I should say.
Mm-hmm. And when is the next IASD convention?
Well, it's mid-June. You know, we hope it's going to be in person. COVID will determine that, but it's in mid-June 2021 in Ashland, Oregon. So it will be a beautiful setting. And as you know, these conferences are large, and it's dream work and dream talk 24/7 for several days. So I just love being there. So I'm really excited about our next, you know, big annual conference, and hope we can all be together in person.
Oh gosh, that would be such fun again. So those of you watching right now or just listening, you can go and you can probably just Google the IASD 2021 Dream Conference and get all the information there. Is that right, Kimberly?
Yes, or go to AS Dreams for Association for the Study. So asdreams.org.
Okay, so let's talk about your extraordinary book. Do you have a favorite dream in that book that someone shared with you?
Well, I have several actually, because I covered two areas of dreaming in that book that really, it just really kept the fire going during the dissertation and research process. And that's announcing dreams as well as visitation dreams, which I look at as bookends. So announcing dreams, as you know, Kat, are dreams that a family, a pregnant woman, or expecting family may have, where they feel they have had some type of contact or communication with the child to be. And visitation dreams are typically, kind of like grieving or bereavement dreams, but that the person says that the deceased loved one, it feels like the deceased loved one came and paid them a visit. So there has that distinction. So the book covers the history of dreaming all across the world, across time and place, hence the words in the title, and then takes a deeper dive into announcing dreams as well as visitation dreams. So I would have to say favorites come from both of those categories. And goodness, well, so many favorites, but one was shared by a friend who wanted to conceive, and it wasn't happening right away by any means. And that happens to so many of us women. We're ready for a baby. It might not happen right away. But a while before she was pregnant, an adult-sized baby, but it was it was a baby, but 6 feet tall or something, appeared hovering over her bed and stated, "I'm coming." And this was a male child. She woke up pretty quickly and conceived a male child. I want to say it was just a couple months. I'd have to look to the book for that detail. But that was really cool, because that she wasn't even pregnant yet, not even close. So that was a really powerful dream in her experience. And then on the other end, should I share a visitation dream?
Sure, but I just have a quick question for you
Sure.
with the one you just gave us. In a way, the book that I did with Dr. Larry Burke was mostly about precognitive dreams, but in a way, the dream that you described to a degree is a precognitive dream, because it hadn't happened yet. And yet she knew that in the dream that this baby that was hovering above her bed, this 6-foot baby, was a male, and that he said, "I'm coming." So in a way, getting probably, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more, dream recall and journaling is really important, because what if she hadn't had the recall and she hadn't journaled it? How would she have been able to know that what she had was a precognitive dream that was telling her what was going to happen in the future?
Right. And some even call those types of dreams visitations. Just different people looking at the nature of time.
I can see that.
So the categories, while we may put dreams in categories to help us understand them a little better and keep them in compartments, they really can be so fluid and go by different names depending on belief and culture. But yes, absolutely, a lot of these dreams have precognitive elements, especially if they had specific details and descriptions. But just like you, I really encourage people to record all their dreams, whether it's in a voice memo and then transcribed, which is what I do these days. I used to go straight to pen and paper, and now I go to voice memo and then transcribe and draw, and later I can talk about the process. How about you, Kat? Do you go straight to pen and paper, or do you use a recording device?
No, I do. I don't really record it, because I would wake my husband up, and it'd probably scare him half to death. So what I do is I do go to pen and paper, and I actually write in the dark. Like a lot of people will say, okay, you turn the lights on or something, but I found that I am actually able to write in the dark, write my dream down in the dark without completely waking up, which
Nice.
is kind of important, because then I can slide back down into that dream, and either the dream continues or it will shift into another dream. I'll go through another dream door, but it's enough. I've got enough written down that in the morning when I read it, Kimberly, it triggers the memory of the dream, and then I can add detail to it. So, we were talking about visitation dreams, which I love visitation dreams, and grief. And right now, with what's happening with so many people around the world, who have lost their loved ones to COVID and weren't able to say goodbye to them. That's probably the worst part, Kimberly, knowing that they're dying. They only have a couple of days left, and yet we can't go and hold their hand and tell them all the things that we didn't say before this moment, knowing that they're going to die alone without us. How can our dreams help us get through that? Because that is almost more painful than knowing that they're dying, or the death itself, knowing they died alone and we didn't get to say goodbye. There was no closure.
Right, right. This is truly, I think, for me, the scariest and extremely sad part of all of this that's going on. And, when it comes to visitation dreams, there isn't, one correct thing to say about it, or one, right way to go about it. Because for some people, especially if they are, really in deep grief, these types of dreams can leave some people feeling good, other people feeling angry, other people feeling scared. And so it's not the same experience for everyone when it comes to dreams, especially after, really suffering the death of a loved one in this way. Like you said, no time to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really, really disturbing, actually, really incredibly sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the culture too, that one, and religion and spirituality that one has come from, can inform how these types of dreams are experienced and the meaning and impact they have. And so it's really, I think, individualized. Now for me, I haven't had the experience of a loved one dying from COVID. My visitation dreams, which I have several, or have had several, span over years, and some involve people I was really close to but had time to process the grief and the sadness, so, to different degree, some more fully than others, to different degrees of closure. But then I've also had visitation dreams with people I barely knew. And so it's really interesting. Can I ask about your experience as well with these types
Sure.
of dreams?
I had a visitation dream lately, not within the past couple of years. One of my best friends had leukemia. We didn't know it. She was actually my tennis partner, and she started passing out. And my first response was, well, something's wrong. Maybe she's got really low blood pressure. The older we get, Kimberly, the more body parts start to need a little oiling or changing, or cranking up or cranking down. And so I just figured, she probably got low blood sugar or something. So she went to the doctor and got tested. Turned out she had a very rare type of leukemia and was going to go through bone marrow transplant. Well, I was out in California at that time. This was up on Cape Cod, and she ended up being quarantined for that procedure, and she didn't survive. She died. And I felt so badly, because she'd been with me through all of my breast cancer, all three of them.
Yeah.
Every single time I came down with it, she was there. And the one time that she had something, I couldn't be with her. Her family really couldn't even be with her. She was quarantined. And I was a little angry about it, Kimberly. I got to tell you, I was a little angry with the Lord a bit about that. Why would you let my friend die without me being able to be with her, to say goodbye or whatever? And one night I had a dream, and in the dream, I was on the streets of Boston, cobblestone streets, so you can't miss them. And I looked around and she walked up to me, and Kimberly, she looked great. All of her hair was back because she had lost all of her hair. Her hair was shiny and blonde. It was sunny outside. And she looked at me and she said, "Want to get a martini?" And I said, "Well, yeah," because we were like the martini queens. After every tennis match, we had to go have our martinis. And we walked into Legal Seafood in Boston, and they have this gorgeous bar, and we sat up at the bar and we were people watching like we always did. And I ordered my martini, and when the martinis came, her martini only had shredded vegetables in it, and mine was a regular martini. And I said to her, "Your martini doesn't have any vodka." And she says, "Yeah, I know, I gave up alcohol, but I wanted to have a drink with you too." And then the dream shifted. So the next part has a little bit to do with the recall, but also your journaling, dream recording and journaling. When I woke up the next morning, I wrote down all the details. And the next time I saw her husband, I read the dream to him. And he said to me, "That's really interesting," he said, "because when she found out that she had leukemia, she gave up all alcohol. And she mostly just munched on vegetables because she was sick a lot from the chemotherapy. And so I didn't know that. And yet I had, what's really strange, Kimberly? My phone just turned itself on and it's recording us all by itself.
Interesting.
Isn't that? Maybe we're having a visitation right now. Oh, that was strange. I'm not even touching it. I'm just watching the time. So
it's common to happen during these types of discussions. So
it's just amazing. Woo. But don't go away, audience. We've got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about journaling and recording and recall. And we're going to talk about sketching dreams and all kinds of great stuff. So don't go away. We'll be right back. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on Dream Vision 7.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
How did life start on Earth, and why is there so much suffering? Are we living in a simulated reality like the characters in the Matrix movie? Do parallel dimensions exist alongside ours, influencing our experience? What are the mysterious dark energies that penetrate our universe? Peter Canova folds space and time to bring the twin bookends of ancient wisdom and quantum science into a single focal point, answering these and many other deep mysteries of the creation. Quantum Spirituality can be heard every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. See the show where past and present merge to show us our future.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to segment 2 of our show, Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7Radio.com. I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, and our guest tonight is Dr. Kimberly Mascaro, and we're discussing dreams, and we were talking about visitation dreams just before the break. So, Kimberly, I wanted to ask you about dream incubation. What is that, and how can our listeners do that?
Well, some nights I want my dreams to show me something I might need to see, or guide me in a certain direction, giving me help and support in some way. So with that in mind, I might incubate a dream. And the way we can go about that is really setting the stage for a good night's sleep, thinking about sleep hygiene, not eating heavy, greasy food before bed, spending some time maybe meditating on what we want out of the dream. And then the way I like to incubate or bring in a dream is to write a question I might have down on a 3x5 card or piece of paper, and either place it under my pillow or read it or repeat it as I fall asleep, so that my mind is thinking about what I want to know or understand in the dream. So instead of just going to sleep and hoping we get a dream, why, in support of what we need, why not directly ask? Why not directly incubate or cultivate that? So some things, I've done are more open-ended, type of questions, like, show me something I need, for my health. Other things might be more direct, like, I want to have a visit or a dream meeting with this loved one I miss. And then I'll keep that image and make that statement over and over in my mind. Sometimes these have led to lucid dreams, and other times these lead to nothing. Mm-hmm. And, if I wake up with poor recall, and other times I'll wake up to thinking, okay, I think I got a message there, to varying degrees of clarity, depending on how skilled we are and all that.
That's interesting. Yeah. So it's in a way, it's a little bit beyond just setting your intention. It's an actual focus. And then just as a bird incubates an egg, you kind of sit on or snuggle up with your dream intention and incubate it through the night. And then, of course, that's where journaling comes in. Again, journaling is so important. We all have these wonderful dreams, but if we don't write them down, how do we know if they're coming true? And that's where we're going to get into dream recording. So I'd like to ask you about that, although we had a little bit of that just before our break, where my phone suddenly turned itself on and was recording everything we were saying. And I was nowhere near it. It just decided to join into the conversation. So let's talk about dream recording and journaling. What are your feelings about recording your dreams, verbally recording them? Do you think it's as good as writing it down?
Well, I encourage people to do what feels easiest, what they're going to actually do. Mm-hmm. And there's different ways people go about that. So I just wanted to backtrack 1 second and say, I feel that dream incubation is more than just setting the intention. And it's, that greater preparation. I like to bring a behavioral, an action step into that. But part of that is getting my dream journal and my phone and pen and everything right there by my bedside. Mm-hmm. So I've been better, though, about keeping the phone a little further away. For me, I started writing my dreams immediately. And later, I had the motivation, later doing a little more of what you described, maybe just getting some of the gist of it and filling in details later. Mm-hmm. And then when I was just feeling unmotivated, I decided, well, let me see what it's like to use the voice memo app on my phone. And so far I've been doing that. But I would say that personally, I can't say one may be better than the other, because what's more important is that for me is that it just happens, that we need to get the dreams down. So I'll just show you. I like to use like just art. I mean, I cover them in stickers people give me, but art notebooks, and, let's get a little closer. Voila, just start writing stuff down. And the paper, which you can't see on screen, but it's a mixed media. So these are just notebooks I would get in an art section or at an art store, a craft store. I like the mixed media one so that if I want to draw, use a Sharpie, for example, I have a bag of Sharpies and I just go to them, that I can do little drawings and doodles in these things, and they're there. So you don't have to be an artist, clearly. Here's another just a quick doodle that gives me the gist of what's going on after I recorded the dream. And so whatever you can do, if you want to go from recording your memo to then transcribing later, if you're really into it, great. Others say just in the middle of the night, if you can just write down the key points, fill it in later. Robert Moss taught me to give the dream a title. Mm-hmm. So there's so different ways, right, to go about this. And then I kind of carry it from there. I like to get into the art of it all.
That's great. I love the idea of drawing your dream, because, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Do you ever find, Kimberly, that when you're writing down your dream in your dream journal, you'll like think to yourself, well, that is just crazy. Do I really want to put this in here? Did that really happen? Do you find that sometimes you got to get out of your way and just write down the dream?
Absolutely, all the time. Because I constantly, and it's just me feeling maybe tired or feeling lazy in the moment, honestly, where I'll tell myself, oh, that's just mundane stuff. That's not important. But as you mentioned earlier with precognitive dreams, most precognitive dreams, according to the research and my understanding, is that they're not these major things. They're just small stuff. Mm-hmm. And that we wouldn't even know that we're having those types of experiences if they weren't recorded.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
true.
With the announcing dream, my friend was able to remember that because it was so powerful for her. But for someone else, if it wasn't so powerful, or if it was just a little more mundane, then most of the time we would just forget about these things during the course of our day. So writing everything down, and any old notebook will do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what notebook you use. I mean, I can remember, Kimberly, when I was doing my first book, Surviving Cancerland, and I really didn't dream journal. I didn't have dream journals. I didn't have any of that. This was all new to me, but I was having all these precognitive dreams coming in. And I remember going through my purse, and I would have toilet paper with dreams written on it. I would have receipts from restaurants with parts of dreams written on it. And what I would do, like Moss told you to do, give your dream a title. I would go back through my dream journal looking for the dream because I had it titled, and little bits and pieces of dream, the important parts, would come back to me in my daydreams, and I would know where to stick them in there. I would just tape them, receipt, toilet paper, napkin, whatever it was. I would just tape it into my dream journal. And then when I went back and looked at those dreams, they were absolutely amazing. I mean, they were just amazing dreams, and they really did save my life. So what other tips would you give our listeners to right now who are scratching their heads going, but I don't have dreams like that. I don't have these bizarre, page after page long dreams. I just remember little snippets.
Yeah, that's the case for a lot of us as we start off on this. That's how it was for me too. Mm-hmm. Until I guess conveyed to my mind that dreams were important, I didn't get so many, or they weren't so deep. So even a hunch, if you wake up with a hunch, even if it's just a phrase, I would say put it in with the date. At the top of mine, the date is at the top of every dream. The date and whatever you can recall. Maybe it's just a color. Maybe you remember an auditory sound, a snapshot of an image, whatever it is, because that action, that behavior can convey to yourself that, oh, this is important. This is something that, a skill I want to grow, a practice I want to continue. Mm-hmm. And then I've found that with doing that, I'll get a little more and a little more and a little more. Also, if I can kind of tell myself, oh, I get to sleep in tomorrow, let's say it's the weekend, I get to sleep in. I may then really do an incubation, be sure I have everything set up, great sleep hygiene, and then if I don't have an alarm to roll over and hit snooze with, I can just lay there for a while and hover in that in-between space. Mm-hmm. And in that space, more of the memories can come. Mm-hmm. I can stay still and not move, for example, mm-hmm. and try to pull in as much recall as I can then as well. So these are some of the tricks that can help get that dreaming going.
So you mentioned dream hygiene a couple of times. Can you explain that to our audience?
Sure. Oh, sleep hygiene. Yes, that's setting up conditions for a good night's sleep and setting up conditions where we can relax, sleep well, dream well. So sleep hygiene can be connected to a dream practice in that we do things that not only help us sleep better, but also help us, maybe dream fresher or have better recall. So connecting that could be like taking, for example, a common sleep hygiene practice could be taking a nice relaxing bath before bed. Thinking about also dreaming there as well, maybe to, abstain from alcohol and heavy foods, greasy foods right before bed, things like that could all maybe have an impact on our nocturnal experience.
Interesting. I never, I don't drink alcohol that much. I just used to have martinis with my friend on certain occasions, but I would imagine the sugar from alcohol would definitely keep you from sleeping well. I mean, you're going to be like so hyped up off that sugar, you may not have really good dreams. But what I have found is if there's information that I needed to know, my dreams always found a way to give it to me, even if I was totally zonked out on chemo. And a lot of people who are who are taking chemotherapy say they don't dream because the drugs take you into such a deep sleep that you can't bring the dream back out with you. But that's where daydreams would come in. Suddenly, Kimberly, I would just remember a dream while I was daydreaming. So I always say our daydreams are so important. Do you happen to have your book beside you that you can hold up and show us? It's a gorgeous cover.
Oh, this last one is just full of stickers. I get stickers, I put them on top. Nothing too special, just things that I had laying around.
Now I'm talking about your book that you just published.
Oh, the one you published. Okay, I thought you were talking about my dream journal. Because
yeah.
I would say, some say too that our dream journals are the best book we will ever write. So in a way, our dream journals are a great book. But yes, you're right. This is a prettier cover. These images, I was really pleased because
I love them.
I sent a sketch in to the publisher and said, could you do something with these? These images were my dreams, I think it was 2016 to 2018, something like that, right before the book came out. Could you make this a part of the cover? And they took my sketch and created this. And I was really, really happy because every image here, from the anaconda skin to the fire, to the dragon wings, to the mountain lion, bear, the tree, there should be a tornado here somewhere. The tornado.
Oh yeah, I had tornadoes in my dreams too. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hang on to that book because we're going to come back to it. Okay, don't go away. We'll be right back. You're listening to Dreaming Healing on dreamvision7radio.com, and I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, aka the Queen of Dreams. You can find my website by asking or Googling the Queen of Dreams or Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, and my website will come up. Do you have any questions? You can call 646-558-8656 and press the pound key for listener chat if you have any questions for our guest tonight. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Can diagnose your life. What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to the last section of our show, Dreaming Healing on dreamvision7.com. I'm your host, author and video podcaster Kat Kanavos, and our guest tonight is author Dr. Kimberly Mascaro, and we're discussing dreams, dreaming, and healing. Just before the show, Kimberly shared the cover of her book with us, which is just beautiful. And so, Kimberly, I want to ask you, what made you decide to write a book about dreams? Because we all dream, and so many of us write down our dreams and keep a journal, but very few of us actually write books about it. What made you decide to write one?
Well, I've always been interested in kind of the fringe, if you will, of dreaming. And like I was saying, the announcing dreams were so interesting to me that not only did I spend my doctoral research focused on this topic, but I decided, yes, I want to get this out there. Not a lot of people were talking about it, but people experience one dream and will make a major life decision because of one dream. Now, of course, Kat, you're a strong dreamer. You're talking about remembering dreams through chemotherapy and other things. I consider you such a powerful dreamer. But for other people, that's not right. That's not always the case. And it wasn't always the case for me. I felt like through practice, my dreaming grew. So when I learned that people would make one major life decision as a result of dreams, I was really, really fascinated. Now, I know in some cultures, people will decide the business they go into, who they marry, things like that, based off of a dream. Mm-hmm. But the women I were talking to were telling me that they had made decisions about whether they were going to continue a pregnancy or other medical decisions based off of a dream. And I thought, okay, a family member had a powerful announcing dream experience, a couple actually. And I thought, I want to write about this. And what's so cool is that I was interested the entire time, all the years I was researching this. I kept my interest. And then it also grew into an interest of Visitation Dreams, and then hence the book.
That's great story. Can you hold your book up for us again and tell us where we can find it?
Yes, this book was, let's pull it back a little. There we go. There's the whole thing. And then I'll bring it in a little so you can really see that central image.
I love that, Kat.
I love so much. Yes, McFarland published this, and I was so impressed, with the work the design team, the work they did. So I'm working on a second one, but you will, I guess before I share a little about that, I wanted to just share one more thing about dreams, because, and the journaling process and the whole process of getting into personal dream work, our own dream work, is that sometimes, especially if we're starting out, or for me, just on average nights, I'll get all kinds of puzzling dream images that I just jot down. And a lot of times it's like, well, what does this mean? So years ago, I led a dream group. It was in the San Francisco Bay Area called the Dream Salon. And I made a cheat sheet for the attendees, which had the perspective, like, for example, Freudian, Jungian, developmental, cognitive, neurobiological, evolutionary, the different dream perspectives with that particular theory or hypothesis, and then the description or function of those. And so sometimes I have fun, and this just might be the research or scholar nerd in me, but sometimes I have fun with a dream that I cannot interpret to save my life, looking at those, so for example, if I'm thinking of the evolutionary perspective, I might think of like, well, how does this dream help me solve problems or adapt to current life situations? Or I might look at the dream from the perspective of the Holland-Nordby continuity hypothesis. How is this dream similar to my waking life concerns? And there's other theories, of course, but these are just ways I look at it. I don't spend much time, though, with the neurobiological perspective or the activation synthesis hypothesis, as you probably could guess, because that's just going to tell me that my brain was firing random electrical impulses. And I often, let me back up and say, well, sometimes I could say, all right, sure, I watched this movie before bed. I didn't sleep well because I ate something greasy, so I'm tossing and turning. And here's what I'm left in the morning. But of all the things I saw in the film, of all the things I processed in the day, why am I only recalling that one piece? So then I do take it more seriously, and I take it to the next level and try to do my own interpretation based off some of these well-known theories in dream research. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's great. I always say our dreams are often a microcosm of our waking world. So sometimes when you see a vampire in your dream and it's chasing you up and down the halls and trying to bite you, you kind of need to ask yourself, was that my workplace? Was that my relationship? Do I have somebody who's literally sucking the life out of me? It's amazing how our dreams talk to us with those signs and symbols. So Kimberly, can you share your website with us so our audience can go there and learn more about you?
Sure. And that is consciouschimera.com. So that's the word conscious, CONSCIOUS, and then chimera. Oh, let's see. There's a chimera. I don't know if you can see that up there, but
it's a little dark. I'm trying to.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll pull it down for us.
Okay. Can you describe it to us?
Yes. Chimera is spelled CHIMERA. So it's consciouschimera.com, and a chimera is that mythological creature that had. There's a couple different descriptions, but typically you see the lion's head and body with a goat head coming out of the back and a snake tail. And what I liked about it, well, first off, in a dream, I held a chimera statue in my hand. And then later at an IASD conference, Bob Haas led guided imagery. And through that, I went back into that dream, and that chimera grew and became alive. And I was like, oh, this chimera is becoming conscious. And what is a chimera? Yes, it's more than a mythological creature, but it's a being with multiple parts. you
It's
know, so
complicated.
yes. And I said, maybe I'm a chimera becoming more conscious of myself.
Mhm.
And so I could have had a website that was easy to type, but I went for complicated. And so you can find me at consciouschimera.com. And so, yeah, there's a story behind that. My very first blog, I think it was February 2016, I believe, was my first blog on that site. And I tell that story a little bit. Yeah. So I know in also, I believe it's Aztec, and I can't speak too much on it. I've learned just a little here, but I believe in kind of Aztec, ancient Mexican ways of dreaming, that mythological creatures, there's meaning behind that. So yeah, so I want to learn more about that. I find that really, really interesting, that sometimes we dream with mythological creatures.
It's true. And there's got to be, I always say there's got to be something to mythology, especially when cultures that are separated by the world share that same mythology and those same creatures. There's got to be something there. So I always ask my guest, if they're a writer, to give the audience a writing tip, something that you found really helped you and worked for you, because we have a lot of authors who watch this program, and they will use your tip.
Okay. Well, what worked for me, and thank you for the opportunity to share this. What worked for me was to just not have to have it all figured out. And if it felt less overwhelming for me, to just write sections of pieces I was inspired to write about without any judgment. So if I knew I had a general concept of a book, because I write all nonfiction, if I had a general concept and I just felt really inspired and motivated that day to just write about a particular aspect, so I do work with shrine making and visitation dreams with people. Those are some workshops that I offer that I absolutely love. Let's say I'm just inspired to write about the shrine making piece that day, or the intersection of the two. I just write. And other days I might feel a little more intellectual and have some organizational motivation there. And then I may decide, no, I'm going to this day make an outline and see if I can organize a sensible, outline. So those would be my tips, is to, in the beginning, especially before something is fully formulated, allow yourself to go with your motivation and inspiration, and trust that through a little bit of time, through a few months, that it will just come together. I used to try to force things at first. It didn't feel good. It didn't motivate me to write more.
And maybe you'll get some of your information in your dreams. Maybe your dreams will help you write your book. So make sure you start journaling. We've come to the end of our show, and this has been such a great show. Dr. Kimberly Mascaro, I know that you are coming back for part 2 of the show. And that was, let me look at my notes here really quick. It was December, do I have it written down here?
Let me see. I have it.
December part 2 is December the 15th. So I hope our audience will tune in then to see part 2 with Dr. Kimberly Mascaro. Again, thank you so much, Kimberly, for being on the show with us tonight. And thank you, audience, for making Dreaming Healing such a great success. If you'd like to share some dreams with us, and maybe Kimberly and I can go over them the next time, you can email them to my website. Again, go to my website, KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com. And if you're a writer who would love to be in the 3rd Sacred Stories of Transformation book series, in which I am collaborating with Sacred Stories Publishing and Dennis Potoko, CEO of BizCat 360 Magazine, and Gina Mazza of Creative One Marketing and Advertising and Public Relationships, go to sacredstoriespublishing.com/book project, or the right upper hand corner of my website. And you can click on there, and I believe there it's now being advertised. So this show will be blogged on Pathos, Above and Beyond the Five Senses, and made into an article for BizCat, Living Your Dream. Until next time, remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy.